Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is my usual weekly technical analysis outlook videos in which I will comment on what I think will happen to some FX crosses and equities. As always, before I begin, I want to clarify that this is not a solicitation or recommendation to enter into long or short positions in the names that I will mention in this video, nor do I have existing positions in them. This is not financial advice, and if you're using this content as a guide to trade, you are doing so at your own risk. Alright, let's start. These are the names that I have covered in past videos, and I will do a quick review on each of them. In the later section of this video, I will also begin covering these new names. I will also be ceasing coverage on several names as well. Do check them out towards the end of this video. I've put in timestamps, so please use them to skip to the names that interest you. I noted a head and shoulder stop in AMD on the 8th of September. This bearish pattern was eventually completed, and I'm technically bearish on AMD now. The textbook target of this bearish pattern is at 130.11. This week's rebound was rejected by the 20-day simple moving average 3 times, and price action now remains below the neckline. Closing below the cloud and below the support at 147.63 will give it a downside boost. In a video on the 1st of September, I highlighted that Eli Lilly is undergoing a correction and could climb a bit more, but I expected it to fail around the 20-week simple moving average. We can see that Eli Lilly's upside is faltering this week around the 20-week simple moving average, forming an upside exhaustion candlestick. If Eli Lilly falls next week, this should be the start of the bearish resumption phase. The head and shoulders top has a textbook target at 453.71. The last review I did on Chubb was on the 5th of July, and I suggested the potential formation of a double top bearish pattern. Since then, Chubb closed below the Ichimoku cloud and rebounded, but the rebound failed to hold above the Ichimoku cloud and was also rejected by the 20-week simple moving average last week. Downside for Chubb is still preferred. The double top will be complete if Chubb closes below the support at 252.56 on a weekly basis, and the textbook target resulting from this is 203.37. I last covered Intel in the video on the 11th of August, and I noted that Intel is forming a rectangle pattern which requires a breakout above 26.43 or a breakdown below 18.73 to complete. Intel eventually broke above 26.43 this week, so it is now technically bullish, and the textbook target is at 35.54. But let's switch to a daily chart to observe its latest price action. Now we can see that price action gapped higher on the 18th of September. My expectation on gaps is that they are usually, but not always, partially or fully filled. So a drop to 24.45 is expected first. Also, price action has overextended above the upper Bollinger, and this usually leads to a corrective decline first. Last but not least, after a breakout, a correction to the point of breakout is common before upside resumes. So all these tell me that the next move for Intel is likely going to be lower first. I will begin coverage on Novo Nordisk, a Danish pharmaceutical giant. I believe it has completed a cup and handle bottom on the 18th of September, and the textbook target is at 460. But note that the next move for Novo Nordisk I believe is likely to be lower first, because price action over here overextended above the upper Bollinger, and this usually leads to 1 to 3 days of correction. Even as Novo Nordisk climbs higher, do not forget that chart patterns usually occur in 3 phases. It just underwent a completion phase. Now somewhere along the way, Novo Nordisk is expected to decline, and this would be the correction phase, after which bullish resumption phase would begin. I will cease coverage on Standard Chartered. The potential cup and handle top that I suggested was invalidated this week after price action rose above the last high. That's the end of my sharing. I will give updates to these crosses and names only when there are meaningful development, and in the next video, it will highly likely be on new crosses and new names. If you like what I'm doing, please help me out by giving me a like, please subscribe and hit the notification button for more videos like this.